46, yeah, 45 minutes to an hour. I was not to get lost, but it's like, let's see here. Let's do that. Let's put that there. All right, that's still not right. Anyway, okay. So let's go. Okay, the 46-minute, like for conversation, 45 minutes to an hour. So Joel Barish, which is Jim Carrey, and his girlfriend Clementine. So had the little memory, flashback to the memory that this little part is like, okay, he's having a memory, and of course they're erasing it at the same time. So he's having one memory where they're at King's. He was like, King's again, and he doesn't want to be those poor couples that people sit there and talk about, like, or whatever. Whatever. He's like, he don't want to be the type of people, or whatever. She offers him some more of her little drink, but then he's like no, and then she's like, okay. He has a thought like, okay, yep, she's about to start an argument, and she's gonna be drunk as a skunk, start an argument. So she says, he already know that she's about to start an argument. So she says, could you not leave hair on the soap in the shower? But he already found like, he's like, she's gonna say the word. That's so, he says, gross. She's like, that's so gross. It's the hair and the soap in the shower, and then it was something else. And it's, but he finishes and he's like, it's repulsive. And she says, it's repulsive. I forget something else. I'm not sure if it's the same thing about that or whatever. So he was like, yeah, she's gonna start an argument and this and that. So she starts talking about whatever. Then, now all this is, it flips back to, Stan, Patrick, and Mary, and are supposed to be, they're not supposed to be doing whatever they're doing. They now are drinking and eating up his food in his house and whatnot. So then he goes to they're eating and drinking the food in his house, and then Patrick gets a call, and of course it's not of course, but it's her. It's Clementine, and but he calls her Tangerine, and so it flips back. He's like, how does he know? How does he know to call you that? How does he know to call you that? And it flips back to another memory, because her hair is like ruined blue. Her hair is blue, and then but it flips back to a memory when she like changed her hair to orange, and he's like, oh, it's like a tangerine, and she was like Clementine, and then so he was like, how does he know that? And then, but remember, there was also early in the movie, he had to bring in everything that had to deal with her. And then there is this one little fumbling moment where basically, I didn't catch it when it happened, but basically Patrick had fumbled, whatchamacallit, and so like he had the stuff, I think that's what it like foreshadowed that to be about. So, but Patrick's on the phone with her, and she was like, she feel like she's ugly. She's like, is that there? And she is that there. He's like, oh, I can come over and calm you down, or I can help cheer you up. And so he's like, hey man, you held this like by yourself, I gotta go. And so he's like, all right, yeah. And so Stan and Mary are just getting drunk, and they're at one point it cuts to Mary, and she's gonna take off her shirt and pants, and she's dancing on the bed. Mind you, he's laying on the bed. Jim Carrey, he's laying on the bed, and then writes from his memory. And then it gets to a point where Stan, like, there was this one point where Stan and Mary were like, they're just smoking. I don't know what they're smoking, but they're smoking. Laying, and like, Jim Carrey's character, Joel Barish, is laying in the middle of the bed. Stan is on one side, laying on one side of him. The girl, she's on Mary, she's on the other side of him, and they're passing the whatever they're smoking back and forth. And there's a plate of food laying on Jim Carrey, and so that they're just snacking. They have made some, I don't know what Bartlett's is. And we're like, Bartlett's? What's Bartlett's? And he was like, it's a quote book, so book of quotations and stuff. You can make it to it or something like that. Then, um, so they had that conversation, but then later, they was like, all right, yeah, man, you can just go. You can go. And so he goes to see Clementine, and so he goes to see Clementine, and then Clementine is like, I don't know about this, I don't know about that. She asked him about whatever, and then she was like, let's go. She's like, let's go to Montauk. Now Montauk is where, um, in the beginning of the movie, Joe had caught the train to Montauk randomly. He's like, I'm going to Montauk. He went to Montauk. Then she was like, oh no, let's go to Boston. Then she makes the whole thing about going to the River Charles when it's frozen. So she says that. So he's like, all right, yeah, okay. And then he calls back to Stan, and he was like, yeah, something came up with the old lady. I'm not gonna be able to make it back. You're gonna be handling. But by this time, Stan and Mary are both pants and shirts off, and just like, yeah, it's gonna be all right, bro. He's in autopilot right now anyway. So then there's that. So them just whatever. So Joel Barish, which is Jim Carrey's character, is he's mind you, as he's having these memories, they're also erasing them. So, but he becomes aware of it though. And he's like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I want to call this off. And so like he does he has this one thing where he goes to like the doctor's office, Mirjawak or whatever, and he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I was like, I'm just a figment of your imagination. This is not a. You gotta understand what comes with this whole process. The whole Patrick. That's Patrick. And he's like, he's stealing my identity. And so like there's this other little part where Clementine, she's like, when they say the whole thing and they go off to like the River Charles or whatever, but before that, Patrick was like looking through a book bag, and he was like, River Charles, this, that, third, boom, boom. So he looking through the book bag. Mind you, Jim Carrey, Joel Barish, he did this whole thing of like, with his journal. He used to draw, he would make sketches, he would write and journal and talk about everything and put the pictures in there. But the guy Patrick has all this stuff. So he's looking through it for like that memory, and he was like, oh, like mind you, so he finds it, and then he looks at what was said. And so there was a conversation where she was like, there's a flip back with a whole bunch of memories. So there's one where she's flipping back, and she has Clementine asks Joel, do you think I'm pretty? Or whatever. She talks about when she was younger, she was a kid, she used to look at this doll, and she's like, the doll, you can't be ugly, you gotta be pretty. As if she could change the doll or something like that. And so they had this whole thing where he like start kissing her, you're pretty, he gets on top of her, you know what's about to happen, you're pretty. And this like that. But he also talked about when they got to the frozen river lake thing, he was like, I'm happy. Like I'm just happy. I'm just with you. Like he said something about being happy. Like I never just felt like just happy. Like I'm just happy. I'm just here with you, and nothing else really matters. It's something along the line. It's not exactly that. It's something a little bit better. Not that much better, but it's just something that's just like I'm just happy that they're with you in the moment, whatever. But he reads that. Then they go. So then Clementine and Patrick go, and they're laying there, and then so Jim Carrey, Joel, like mind you, he's having these dreams, and and the memories are getting erased, and then he's also like, how does he know to call you that? And then he's also like, this guy's stealing my identity, and he's just using everything that's not there. Like he even like the gift that he got her for Valentine's Day, he gives that to her, and he was like, and she was like, no guy ever got me anything that I liked, like a piece of jewelry that I liked or whatever, but this is from the flea market. They had went to the flea market. Damn, this shit is just, this shit different. I don't like shit like this, though. I don't like shit like this. They had went to the flea market though, and then that's what ended up. He eventually later got her this gift, like around Valentine's Day. That shit is so fucked up. This shit is so fucked up. This shit crazy because it's like, this shit is crazy. Just these similarities and synchronicities and shit. This shit crazy as fuck. So yeah, they had went to the flea market. He was supposed to give her this gift. The other guy ends up giving her the gift. And she was like, oh, this is no one guy ever did this for me or whatever. Like, I got me a piece of jewelry that I like. They go to the little montauk. They go to like the little frozen river lake. He then says the exact same thing that Joel Barish, which is Jim Carrey's character, said. And as soon as he says that, she's like, we gotta go. So she gets up, she walks away. He's like, Clementine, just after he's chasing after her. Now, on Jim Carrey's side, Joel Barish, they're still erasing his memories, but Stan and Mary are not paying attention. And with Stan and Mary not paying attention or whatever, Joel is having memories, and basically, like, he's talking to her. He's like, yo, you gotta, like, whatchamacallit, like, they gotta do something different, or just move, or this and that third, so he can save the memory, or save her. And he was like, yo, you gotta, she was like, okay, well, what you gotta do right now is take me somewhere that I shouldn't be. That way they can't erase me from where I shouldn't be at. And like, she's like, take me somewhere I shouldn't be, whatever. So eventually, because they're like in the woods, and he tells her this or something like that. And then she was like, well, just wake up. And he was like, oh, well, I'm supposed to just wake up. And he does this whole thing like, oh yeah, this is like something. He said something. But then it's like, then he's like, yeah, like, he's like, it actually did work. He's like, but I couldn't move. So he's like, I kind of just woke up, but I didn't move. And then, so he does that. And then after that, then they have the other idea. She was like, this is how you wanted to do this with the whole little mirror thing, so she's like, take me somewhere I shouldn't be. And so he converts to a time where he was like a little kid. He's like 4 years old, and his mom's not paying too much attention. And the other lady, but then Clementine is there, and then she was like, who am I? Who am I supposed to be? He's like, oh, you're Mrs. Hamlin. She's like, my mom never pays me attention. This, that, that, blah, blah, blah. And like, he's under the table, and mom's like, you want something to drink? He's like, yeah. He's like, I know it's not 5 o'clock, but he's like, yeah, we can't. I'm down for a vodka, whatever. And Clementine's just looking. She's like, oh, I love this dress. And she's like, this kitchen, I love this kitchen. Like, Clementine's just amazed with everything. Like, the old timey stuff. Mind you, she did say, what are you, a wino? And, she's like, 50s, whatever. And, so yeah, Clementine's in this memory. He has put her in this memory, and he's trying to save her. Like, if she's in a memory that she shouldn't be, then he can save her. So yeah, this has, I'm like an hour and 2 minutes in. It's like another whatever to like go, but just talking about that one little part was just very like, whatchamacallit, bro. Goodness.